ask the candidates. There's gonna be a few rules. I'd like for no interruptions to be, no interruptions during answers. No personal attacks are gonna be allowed, and no audience heckling. So I'd like to keep this as professional and nice as we possibly can. I'd like for each of the candidates to maybe give opening remarks if they'd like to. I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. Maybe say why are you running for council? What policies do you think needs changed, and how would you bring the community together? If there's anybody who would like to start that information. Carol? Carol Burning, everyone.
Any questions?
Do you have anything you want to tell about yourself?
Basically,
Or?
I just have two concerns: financial status of the village. Over the last couple of years, each council meeting, there's been a lot of discrepancies. That needs looked at, and our zoning book needs something, or we might as well not have one. So basically, that's my two main thinking here, financial and zoning.
Okay. Do you have a question for Carol?
Why isn't everybody second?
Sorry, I can't hear in this room.
That's what I need.
No,
That's what I want to do.
That way you don't have to keep your
Yeah.
question. Y'all set up here?
Yeah, I do. Well, I'll wait till well, they're still talking, so I wouldn't want to. My only question is,
What she's asking is if she would like for all the candidates to sit up here for the question and answer part of it.
Well, you're fine up there.
Oh,
I
no,
just
no.
don't want to.
I just thought,
on this.
because that's where my name was, that's where I was supposed to sit.
And
You're
I'm
no
just
different because I couldn't hear what she said.
I would just like to know what the discrepancies are, that's all.
Well, it's been quite a few different times. One time there was a $20,000 amount, it was unaccounted for.
And how did they resolve it? So we're still $20,000 this year?
Well, I don't know. Can't answer that. I just know that there's been a lot of, our attorney has brought to the attention many times the numbers that were off whack. And it just needs looked into. I feel we need a forensic audit of the village. Couldn't hurt. I mean,
Well, everybody gets audited, I don't see a problem with that, but I just, you know, you hear so many different things, that's why I'm here. I've never been to a council meeting, I've seen a lot of stuff online, I know all of these people, most of these people. I don't believe anybody up there wants to make Arcadia worse. I love this little town, and I think we should all just get along. So it would be nice if you find a discrepancy that, you know, you let people know exactly what it is, just
well,
not,
I can't do that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I understand that.
I mean, I just think it needs looked into, that's all.
Okay, that was my only question.
My second.
Okay.
Okay. Amy?
Yeah, as the fiscal officer, I do not understand the $20,000 discrepancy that you speak of, Carol, and I would know.
Well,
I've never had a $20,000 discrepancy in my,
Phil Wilkins brought that up at a meeting, and you said, I don't know where that number came from. That's gotta be in the minutes.
are you, well, it's not discrepancies in our financial
I'm just
reporting.
saying.
If it was at a council meeting and he asked about it, it's possible it was a paperwork that didn't get transferred right when they gave the numbers. But the financial statements that I submit, recs every month, I close the books. And every month it'll say that it'll say where any discrepancies are. I have never seen anything like a $20,000 discrepancy. And that's what your financials are.
Okay, well, and nothing against you.
No, but you said that and it kind of threw me, Carol, like I've never, $20,000 is a lot of money. I would know if there was a $20,000 discrepancy.
Well,
That sounds more like a paperwork mistake as far as maybe the paperwork that Mark had.
Well, you just at that meeting, you couldn't explain it yourself, and where the 20,000 came from.
And without the whole, without specifically knowing what you're talking about. But when you said that there was a discrepancy of $20,000
Yeah, and I don't know what account it was or anything.
but that talks about the books, and my books books do not have.
Well, I'm just saying, if you have a forensic audit,
We have an audit in the
and
audit.
everything is fine. No, I mean a forensic real audit of the entire bill,
Not from the state of the auditor's office, because we did just have that this
Well,
year.
they only pick on 2 things a year. They don't do an entire audit ever.
Not from point A to point, they don't look at every single thing, no, but they do, because, no,
No. A forensic audit is from A to Z, everything.
okay. You just spoke of something I wanted to ask about, because that's a big discrepancy, and I do not think that I've seen
And like I
that.
said, I don't know what the resolution was to it. I just know somebody brought it up. And there's been other little numbers that were off and stuff off, and I can't tell you the moment, I've got them written down at home. but
Okay,
That's all.
thank you. I just,
Has Arcadia ever had a forensic audit?
no,
in the
we've
history
never
of the
had
town?
real issues with audits.
I don't think so.
Do you know how much something like that would cost?
It would be expensive, probably.
Do you know, Carol, how much a forensic audit would cost?
Maybe we should
walk up to the
Yeah,
podium.
if you could walk up to the podium and ask them.
No, I don't. I know some TPAs charge $200.
That a girl.
You got this.
I don't,
I was just wondering how much a forensic audit would
no, I don't know.
cost.
I know it's $200 an hour for a CPA,
How much?
$200 an hour. I have no idea how long it would take.
I would think that would take a lot of hours.
Yeah, well, we had one done in Florida on the condo board that I'm on,
Yeah.
and it was $1,500. So it wasn't a huge amount of money,
Okay.
but that's just an example.
Okay, thank you.
Shelley, would you like to say anything?
My name is Shelley Hill. I have lived within the village since 2003, but I've been in the community for 30 years. I agree with Carol. The zoning book needs to be looked over. There's some discrepancies there, like in this part it says this is what a building is, yet in this part it says no, this is not a building. Well, if I'm putting something up, and there's 2 things, how do I know which one I'm going with? So a shed is a building, because it has 4 walls, ceiling, a roof, it's a building. Yet the other part, it says, no, it's not a building, it doesn't need a permit. That needs to be looked at, we need to get it down, we need to look at some of the ordinances, some of them are old, some of them were put in place just because who was where. And we do need to bring the community back together. There has been a lot of bashing, social media is not our friend, period. Social media is not your friend, and whether you delete it or not, it's still there. It's not what I thought it was going to be. I decided that early on that I wanted to be sitting on council, if you all would vote, for the purpose of changing some things, having some new ideas come in. Some things that, just need done. We need to get back together with the Heart and Soul, with the Lions Club. We need to get back together with the school, with the businesses in town. We are very small, but the businesses we have, we love. And we need to remember that and promote those. So, but we need to take care of our village, and our village residents have to come first. Not what council wants, what the village residents want. And that's my goal. I can't promise you that because I'm not there yet. So, but that's why I'm here.
Does anybody have any questions for Shelley? Come on, surprise.
I'm Carol McDonald, I used to be Carol Brown, I've lived here all my life, well, I was born and raised here, graduated from here, moved 6 miles away, and unfortunately I had an Arcadia address, but my children went to Van Buren, so that was kind of a screw up on my part for buying a house now in Arcadia, around Arcadia. But when I moved back to Arcadia 4 years ago now, I was even offered to run or sit on the council, appointed on the council by Chet, and I couldn't because I didn't have a year in. So my idea of running for council has been on the agenda. I just want to see the community come together, and there's a lot of good people out there that have a lot of good ideas, and I just want them to be able to be heard. So that's one of the reasons why I'm running.
Questions, anyone? Jeff?
Jeff Hanna, I can pretty much follow about what they're talking about as well. Zoning, we do need to look at the books, clean that up, solve them problems. I'm here more for utilities. You know, we started an electric rebuild years ago, and it just fell apart. It never got finished. There's, sanitary sewer hasn't had any work done to it for years and years and years as well. I think before our utilities completely fall apart, I think we need to get in and get some maintenance done. That's kind of my platform.
Anyone have a question? Michelle?
My name's Michelle Hanksteller. I've lived here for 20 years. I'm the president of the Lions Club. I'm from Bettsville, and if anybody knows, you know Bettsville's that little town that you stop on the way to the lake, and Bettsville's gone, and the park that I grew up with, and I don't want that to happen here. So we've all got to start working together. We have, I started going to council meetings strictly to help out, my neighbors. We have 3 houses on our block, and two of our neighbors are arguing. One neighbor has an immaculate, beautiful house, and the other one has chickens who like to go visit and rip up their flowers, you know, and say hi and stuff, which is not fair. We started trying to make ordinance. There's no animal ordinance, so there's a lot of people who are having a lot of problems. We're a farm school. Our kids don't even go back until after the fair's over. They should not be able to have farm animals because they live inside the village limits. I mean, there's a limit. You can't have 6 cows in your backyard. I get it. But there's no ordinances to how people need to take care of their animals, how their neighbors, we have another couple in the community whose neighborhood chickens just ravage their yard, their house. But we have kids who sell stuff for 4-H, and there's not really any rules. There's no dog barking rules, there's no animal rules. So I started going to council meetings to strictly help with that, to see if I could help with that. And then it's just moved on to where I go to all of them now. And I just think maybe I can help. Most everybody knows me. I'm, honest. I may not vote the way you like, but I would vote for the way that I think would serve the community the best. Everybody needs to work together, heart and soul, the Lions, the town, the mayor, the council. Everybody needs to be on the same page. These are your neighbors. These are kids you went to school with. Your children go to play with their children. So on and so forth. This village is not big enough to, everybody should be able to get along a little better than what they do.
Anyone have a question?
I do. Michelle. So I agree with you with the chickens or the animals. I mean, I feel like, obviously, we all know where I live. I have a neighbor that has animals, and I don't have any issues with it. And getting out of their fence or their yard obviously needs addressed, but I don't think that I can tell you whether you can have chickens in your house or, and you mentioned something that they ravage their house or something. Like you can't go that far. I don't feel like that I should be able to tell you what you can't do.
Oh,
You
no,
you
they
can't have-
ravage their neighbor's house.
Oh,
Oh, no, not their house. I don't care what they do with the chickens in their house. The neighbor's house. Michelle Santa Cruz, their neighbors, they have those beautiful glass windows out front, and they peck the windows. There's actually little holes.
No, they're not from the chickens, that's not from the chickens, they destroyed our flower garden one time.
I agree, they need
Yeah.
to be,
There needs to be limits.
There just needs to be
contained.
rules. You
Yeah,
can
rules and
have
limits.
farm animal, there's just gotta be rules.
Any other questions?
My name is Stephanie Balderson. I was formerly Eversole, I have been on council for 20 years, and I'm a former mayor, so I have been around for a long time. I was around when Jeff Hanna was a village administrator. I have seen the the different stages of things where we have replaced things and we have updated different parts. I have watched the sewer cleanouts, I have watched the water treatment plants be taken care of. I've been on council for a long time, and the last time the zoning book was redone is when Mayor Fink was in office 12 years ago. I do believe that's something that we need to look at again, but I was also on council and helped do that the last time around. I think we all need to come together to some kind of an understanding as to what the limitations are, what the limitations are not, and be more specific in those things. At the same time, there have been, things done that we need to go by what has been done so that we can encompass everything that's been built already. So, I've offered my help with all council and heart and soul, and been involved with all the different committees and PRPR, Parks, Recreation, Public Relations. I've been on the Finance Committee, and I can't think of any other committees. Infrastructure Committee, to look at trees, sidewalks, things of that nature. We're working on a grant to take down the Daughters of the American Revolution building, because it's falling apart right now. I know it's a historical piece. I'm sad to see it go, because all the old buildings we had in town, they're coming down. And I remember those as a little kid, because I was born and raised here. I have never left except to go to college, and then I've come back. And I currently live in a house that was my grandparents'. So, and I don't look to leave anytime soon. So, I just would appreciate being on council again, but that is up to the voters, and I'm here for the residents. I always have an open door. You know my phone number, you have my email address, and I'm here. You're always welcome to talk to me.
Any questions?
I'm Rhonda Diegelstedt, used to be Rhonda Seal. Born and raised here in Arcadia, lived on the same street my whole life, actually. I've been on council for 15 years, I think, roughly. And a lot of my family lives here. We have little ones coming up in our family. It's really important to me just to make this a good community for them, as well as all the rest of the residents.
Any other question? And Adam.
I'm Adam Duckett. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I moved to Arcadia about 6 years ago, so I was not born and raised here. Some would call me an outsider. But I chose to move here because I like the small town feel. And I thought it would be a great place to raise my family. And that's why I started trying to get on council, was to try to make the place as good as possible for future generations. The reason I'm trying to get on council again is so I can continue that. I have served on council for a little over 4 years with honesty and integrity, and I plan to continue to do that.
Any questions? So, if nobody has any other questions, then we will let them off the hook of the table and let them go over. Go ahead.
I have a question, please. I heard several of you mention the division in the community being a problem. I would like to know what you can do. What will you do if elected council person to stop the division in the council meetings? I will not go anymore. I went 3 times in a row, and I sat on different sides of the table, and I sat, on this side, and I saw something was mentioned, and I saw rolling the eyes from the council. I saw little hidden, looks back and forth from council members. I heard dead silence when something was brought up to do, like the variance committee, to okay the variance committee. And I saw that the one time and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Well, maybe I just sat on the wrong side of the table. So I came the next time and I sat on the other side. And doggone if I didn't see the same thing. Doggone if I didn't say the same thing. And then the third time I came, it was just so upsetting to me because some of you I have known for years. I like you very, very much. I think I know Carol, I've seen you, but I don't know you. I look forward to getting to know you. Adam, I've seen you around. I don't know you. I look forward to getting to know you. But the rest of you, and Mr. Hannah, I remember when Luke was in Scouts, you were involved in the Scout committees. But I've known you for so many years. I like you so much. I do not like what I see happen when you're together on council. I do not like seeing that at all. And I stopped coming because I decided I'll be darned if I am going to lose my personal friendships with you guys one-on-one over the inability of you to all work together. So I want to know from each of you, so you recognize we have a problem. Fine, it's not big news, everybody knows it. I want to know what you're going to do to solve it. And I'd like to start with Adam, because I know you least of everybody. But I'd like to know what you're going to do. Say the election took place tomorrow, and the next meeting, you're coming in, you're already sworn in. What are you going to do to make it better so somebody like me, who cares for this community, feels comfortable coming and learning? I always came to council meetings just to learn, because I'm a country girl through and through. All my life a country girl, and I didn't know what living in town meant. And you rake up our leaves, God only knows it. That's really cool. You collect our leaves, you collect fallen branches. There's so many things in this little town never had out in the country, and I thought that is really, really cool. But I would like to know from each of you, what are you going to do? And I hope you will commit to what you say you're going to do, because it has to stop. You all know that. We all know that, right? We all know that. I'm tired. I have people from Fostoria. I have relatives in Fostoria. We meet every month, the family, and for breakfast or lunch. And that's the first discussion is, Lori, things going any better over in Arcadia? What the heck is going on? And I don't know. I don't know. So I want each one of you, right down the line, if you would be so kind, tell me how you're going to address that. Coming into the meetings, what are you going to change? You, don't tell me, well, if the mayor did this, and don't tell me, well, if council would just do what the mayor says. No, you don't have control over that. You have control over you as a council member. What will you do to stop the division? I want to come back to the meetings. I want to continue my friendships with you guys. The individual hey, I just known you forever. I really have. And I want that feeling when I come to council meetings, that everybody's here together. I want that feeling. How are you going to get the feeling to us, Adam? What you going to do to solve the division?
I know council gets along pretty well. And I'm not one who typically would roll my eyes at anyone.
You're not typically what, I just couldn't.
I typically wouldn't be the one rolling my eyes at anybody.
I think I saw it from pretty much everybody.
No, not me. But,
Okay.
and if I did, it was when people were laughing at me while I was trying to talk.
No, I didn't see any of that. Go ahead.
So,
I'm sorry.
I'll just continue doing what I do. The only exception is I will attempt to not cuss at people who are yelling in my face anymore, like I did one time.
So that's That's what you think you can do?
Yeah.
To solve, and you think doing that will help?
I do, and I think once the mayor's removed from office, everything will get better.
Well, and as I said, I didn't wanna hear that, because you're not in control of that. You are in control of you at those council meetings. My question is, what can you do
And I answered
to
it.
make them better? And that's all you have to say, I just wanna
All I
make
have
sure
to
you
say
have.
is,
Okay, thanks so much. Rhonda?
I appreciate you bringing that up, I guess, I don't know, I may have rolled my eyes, I do not have a poker face, anyone who knows me knows that, I mean, every emotion you see. So, if I did do that, I apologize, I don't, it wasn't intentional.
Yeah.
It's probably one of those things, you know, I've heard before, and now what do you mean? You know, I mean, honestly, I just guess for myself, I'll just be more conscious of my actions.
That addresses that part, but what will you do as a council person to solve the division problems that we all know are there?
I mean, honestly, I think communication is the key. If there were, if someone were to come up to me and say, hey, I have this concern, I'll listen. I mean, I don't, and that's all I can do. I can't, you know.
It's when you guys get together, that's my problem, is when you all get together, you know? And I did propose it the one time, and I don't like to speak up in front of a lot of kids, or a lot of people. They were kids, I'm good as a teacher, but I'm not a public speaker at all. And I did propose when the people who attended the council meeting left, if you all would just stay and talk it out and get it solved, and that was my proposal. Always tell my preschoolers, you use your words, you solve so many things when you talk things through. And I suggested you stay, you all, the mayor, all, whoever was there, and the rest of us leave. You sat and you talked till it was figured out. But it's when you get together, there's such division, it's just awful. Do you have any proposals of how you could help solve that?
Just listen, I guess.
Okay.
I can't control someone else.
No, you can't, that's why I'm just saying, what can you individually, if you're elected council person, you come into this, you know, you're aware of the problem. I guess that's the first thing, is admitting there's a problem, and I guess we all do, right? That, how do you solve it then? That's my thing. That's just my thing. You know, how can you solve it? Thank you for your answers, though. Stephanie, you got any brilliant ideas?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I had made mention and sent out an email to everybody, all the council members, and said, what if we had a working council session and brought somebody in to help coach us along? To help us figure out how to get past issues. And I got no response.
When did you send that out? Please.
Oh. Honestly, I can't tell you unless I would look at the date. And all I did was print out the email, so I had record of it. I don't have it in an email anymore.
That's okay.
And I'd never gotten any response. And I had said something about that. I said, school boards always have working sessions. Is there any way possible we can do that so we can hash out some of our disagreements and come to an agreement to agree to disagree? Or go on about our business so that we can run the village for the villagers and not air out the dirty laundry. Let's go on about this. And I had never gotten any response. So I was like, okay, that must mean nobody wants to do this, or nobody wants to look into it. And I tried to look into it further, but it didn't go anywhere. And I've done my due diligence, and I've said to myself, I'm just gonna be as professional as possible when I go into these meetings now. I take my notes, I write things down, I find out what people want to the best of my abilities. If I can't find it, I'll do more homework and try and look for it. But that's what I can do, and I make myself available. And I try to stay as neutral as possible and just go from there. But I made the suggestion and kind of fell on deaf ears.
And that's called a working session?
I believe it is.
what you guys think of an arbitrator being with you? And no, I'm not volunteering for that, I swear to God, I would never do that, I'm
Well,
not
that-
qualified.
That's kind of what that person would, they're like a coach. They're
Okay.
like a coach, or to walk you through,
An independent person.
yes.
So, why didn't you answer email?
I mean,
And what do y'all
I don't
think
think
that-
half of these people are on that email, so
Right,
I
and
think
what
we
you-
probably just move on to the next person.
I guess I wanna know why didn't you answer the email? Is that something you're open to doing? I guess it's more important than the rest of you.
Well-
If you were.
I've never been on council before, but
No,
I'm
I'm
more
just saying
than,
the rest of you, would you be open to something like that?
No,
absolutely.
yeah, absolutely,
Okay.
100%.
Absolutely.
Thank you for making the effort, certainly, okay. So Michelle,
I've never been on council before, but there's a lot of hurt feelings. I mean, in a way, a good counseling session might go a long way if some of the hurt feelings, there's personal things are getting mixed up in business things. So, I agree with Stephanie, I'm, like I said, I'm not on council, but I think it would help a lot to have some sort of arbitrator counseling sessions, something, because there's personal stuff that has really nothing to do with, business at hand that is interfering with the way things are being ran.
so you'd be open to that?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. But like I said, I've never been on council before, but I
That's
mean,
okay, I'm looking for, if you are going to be,
I'm a
We
fairly
need
positive
help.
person,
What are
I
you gonna
mean,
do?
yes, talk, all we can do is communication, just, you gotta talk more, and
yeah,
hostility is definitely not the answer, you can't,
we got plenty of that.
you gotta just let stuff go sometimes, it's just.
Thanks, Mr. Leon.
I think you hit the nail on the head, to be real honest with you. I don't think I can answer your question, because I guess I don't feel like it's directed to me. I think we're all setting up here, for an opportunity to show how we can handle a situation like that. And I guess that's why there's probably 8 of us here. But I can't answer that question. I try to be, I'm like Michelle, I wanna be straightforward. I don't wanna, have to double talk everything and the rolling eyes, I've seen that too, but, I think you just have an opportunity here to make some changes if changes need to be made.
And would you be open to a work session with a coach arbitrator, somebody independent to come in and try and work things out? Would you?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. Carol?
Probably the biggest thing I've noticed, like you at the meetings, they have no respect for residents. I mean, residents ask questions, there's no resolution, there's no follow-up. People have needed trees trimmed for years, doesn't get done. You know all the derelict houses in the village, that's been there, 10, 15 years? And nothing ever happens. There's gotta be a way. Astoria, they all get rid of derelict houses. You don't see any in Arlington or Van Buren. There's no falling down houses in those towns. There's gotta be a way to do it. Why can't we figure that out? I mean, our property values is going up. I don't live by one of them. That,
Sounds like an issue you would be interested in working on. How would you go in as a new council person? How would you go in to solve the problem of division? Because I don't think a whole lot's getting done with all this division, unfortunately. So you have to make that hurdle and solve that problem, don't you? Before you go on to your personal issues of what you want to see done in the town, in the village. How would you?
I think it would depend on who's actually on council next year. Is gonna depend on how things go. If it's prior council, then things are not gonna change. It's been this way for solving things, maybe? I don't know. I've never been on either.
So am I right, there's 4 seats available? Okay, what are we gonna do? Choose from one group and choose from the other?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that.
What are you gonna do? What are we going to do if 2 are elected from one side and 2 are elected from the other side?
Well, it's gonna
It's
kind
not
of
gonna be a
depend on,
new council, so,
yeah.
you know, I'm putting you on the spot. I wanna know from you. I really appreciate you coming so that we can ask these questions. But, you know,
Yeah.
what do you think? What
It
can
kind
you
of
do?
depends on the vote. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if the majority votes no, there's nothing anyone can do to fix that.
Oh, I hope not.
Well,
I
they can bring
don't-
it back to the table.
I don't buy that for a minute that we can't work
But
it
I
out
mean,
somehow.
you can't move forward if you get no votes. I mean.
No, I mean for us all working together. I
That
don't,
would help. That would help.
well, so you're voted in, you're the new council, one of the new council people. So you come in, what are you gonna do to broach that
Well, first of all, I'm gonna,
division?
if a resident comes with a concern, I'm gonna pay attention.
Okay.
And see if I can resolve it, or we can resolve it, whatever. Maybe Amy can resolve it. Find a resolution, don't leave people hanging for months and months and months of stuff not getting done. It just makes them frustrated.
Why do you think things don't get done?
Pardon?
Why do you think things don't get done?
No follow-up. Not important.
Could maybe behind it be that you're not working together, council and, I don't know what you call it, administration, and it takes more than council. You have others, right? You have a mayor, whatever, you all need to work together. Could that be part of it?
I think it's a combo, everything, everybody. I mean, we all have to get along on council one way or another,
Right.
or things don't get done. I mean,
We've seen that, yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Carol, got any great ideas here?
Well, I try to be optimistic about all of this, because I have sat and watched and seen some of the arguments within the council meetings and stuff, and we do need to start getting along. It doesn't matter who you are, we all need to come together. Whoever gets voted in, or whoever new person comes out, we need to work together, because it's not good to see this breakdown every time there's a meeting, and animosity is thrown out there. I just think we just need to work it out. And I am really for the favor of having somebody come, like Stephanie brought up, and work together, because I think communication is broke down when you're mad. Communication's broke down when, and you're just not listening to what other people are saying. But my concern is, for running in that, is they need to listen to the residents. I mean, for an example, somebody came to one of the meetings, was complaining about a person throwing their trash out in the backyard. That still hasn't been resolved. They're still throwing trash out in the backyard, and animals are all over the place. I mean, those kind of things need to be taken care of, and they need to be taken care of when they're addressed. Like you, I've seen the rolling of the eyes, I've seen the whispering, or putting sunglasses on so they don't look at you, or you can't see if they're looking at you. It's been a circus in my eyes, and I just would like to see it change.
Why do you think the issue of throwing trash in the backyard, why do you think it hasn't been fixed?
Well, I thought there was people in charge of that kind of problem.
So do we have a communication problem and maybe, follow through or?
I think there needs to be a follow through a
What
lot
is
of
it?
times on things, yeah.
Who follows through? I'm confused because you guys only meet once a month, and that would be a big problem if my neighbor was throwing trash in the yard and throwing all over. But it's not up to any of you to go down there.
No, but it was
So
brought
we
into
shouldn't
the
be
council.
yelling at each other because nothing's getting done.
Right,
There's ordinances that you can't just send out a letter and tell them they're gonna start throwing in the dumpster or they're going to court, because you can't do that. There's
No.
also, so how
no,
do
there's
you,
rules and regulations on
you know,
it.
that would be very
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yes,
But
yes.
I don't see how, you know, you can't blame council on that.
Lisa, I'm not trying to blame anybody. I'm just saying things don't get followed through once a resident complains. That's what I'm saying.
So
It's not up to the council, but it's on record that this person did complain about it.
But then.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you saying, Lisa, that when you tell someone to do something, you can't, just because you tell them to do something, you can't expect them to do it, and then the process to get them to do it?
Well, yeah,
No.
like, I just don't understand how you're saying that council doesn't work together to get that solved when, what can any of you guys do? I mean, you can vote to say, yeah, we need to take care of that.
They asked to have a letter sent out, the letter was sent out, but
But
you're
then
right,
they
it probably
probably didn't
hasn't.
respond to that, so it looks like nothing's getting done, but council's trying. I mean, they can't go down there and beat on the door and say, you know, keep your chickens out, you know, people just don't pay attention. And so I don't see where
But
that's.
as a council person, you can check to see if it's getting done too.
and
correct.
then what? So
If you're a council, you can at least check on it, right? Would that, or is that the wrong thing to say?
no, I don't know, I've
Okay.
never been on council,
Okay.
I'm just saying
Okay,
that if you get on council and they're still throwing the trash in the yard and you guys all vote, this shouldn't happen, and you send out another letter, then what can be done? Can you send the sheriff down there? Does the mayor go take care of it? Do all 6 of you go down there?
well, I know I live on Farmers Lane, and the property beside me has only been mowed once this year, and I would assume that maybe somebody in that administration office could check and say, what's going on here, he needs to mow that. I mean, there is rules and regulations of people keeping their property up.
Yeah, I
You
believe,
know,
I.
and I'm not saying it's the council that's the ones that's gotta keep it up. I'm just saying that when a resident comes to the council and is complaining about something, it probably would be a good gesture to go and check to see if things got taken care of for that resident. Does that make sense, or am I?
It does, but I feel like all of you as council members.
No,
have
I'm not
your-
saying that council should be the only ones.
You just have your hands tied, because we all have neighbors that don't keep their place up.
Yep,
But what
yep.
can you do about it? I guess I'm asking what you can actually do about it.
Just follow up and see if it gets done. I don't
And
know,
if it
take
doesn't
the
get
time.
done, then what?
Then report it back to the administration or the utility office. I mean, I don't know. So they're aware that it's not getting done.
But it's still the same. I mean, you've seen the same houses year after year after year.
Yeah.
Just, you know, we have one right next to us that's just got cars and all kinds of things around it. But I just don't see how, I mean, it would be great if you could figure something out too.
Right.
Make the town look better, but
Yeah.
I don't see how you can enforce it.
When those letters are sent, I mean, without being overly nosy, what exactly do they say? Do they give?
Well, Amy can tell you
a
that.
timetable or?
The letters are specific to the, like, for instance, sometimes it's grass, sometimes it's trash, and so, like, if someone comes to council and notifies, or if somebody even calls me and notifies me, they'll get sent, an ordinance that pertains to their violation, and then a letter that says they have so many days to comply, and then they could be fined after that. Some ordinances don't have very specific punishments for when you don't comply, but that's pretty much the process. And it gets certified, and sometimes they don't pick them up, and they come back to me anyways.
So I think that's some of what you were asking about, it's like,
Yeah,
what if?
And if they
get a
don't,
letter
like
and
we-
they don't,
yeah.
and they get a letter and then they don't, they get,
And if it gets past that, in some ways, I think that the council has to, file legal action, like a civil suit against them.
was there ever been, anything more, this is probably like for people that have been on council. Has there ever been anything more done other than a letter? Have you ever been to people's house? Is it somebody that's elderly that can't mow their yard? Is it somebody that could use some help? Is there something behind it other than, yeah, I just like throwing trash in the yard? Has anybody ever asked?
I can speak to mowing.
Okay.
Some people have not, been able to mow, so other people have stepped up and helped. And if that doesn't always take place, or they've gotten several letters and people can't help mow anymore, or if it gets really bad, sometimes we've just done it as a village and we've assessed it to their taxes. So,
How,
but we've tried to check with them.
to, like, on the topic of mowing, which I don't, I'm anal, I mow all the time. I was gonna mow today and I didn't, but, what if it's somebody's, they're capable of mowing and their mower doesn't work, or they don't have one? Any thought about having, I don't know, a community lawn mower rental, they can come and use it and mow their yard and then take it back? You can send letters and complain about it till you're blue, but.
There's contractors out there too. If your lawnmower doesn't work, I'm sure you could hire a contractor to come mow your yard or ask your neighbor kid to
And
mow
maybe
it.
they can't afford that too.
We had an elderly lady that lived next door to us, and she unfortunately passed away. She was in her 90s, and she couldn't mow her yard. Gary would mow her yard until he got so sick that he couldn't mow her yard. So it would be, if somebody could just like help somebody mow their yard, I don't think that would be so awful. I'll go down and mow their yard, I don't care.
A lot of times, that's what I did in my neighborhood. I would just go around, and if I couldn't do it, I'd be like, it's fine, I've got it, don't worry about it.
Okay.
And I would do 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, I'd like to see at least something, just ask them, do you need some help? Maybe they don't have gas money to put in their mower, something, could be something so simple that as a community, we're getting all frustrated because Bob doesn't mow his yard, well, you don't realize that Bob's in a nursing home, or something like that. Just, my suggestion would be just ask. I'm
I
sure
think,
you'd
I think
find
as a
that.
community, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it, but as a community, I think it would be really nice if we had, I wish the mayor was here, but if the mayor would go to the house and say, hey, what's going on before we assess the taxes? We had a lady that had chickens that was getting out and destroying someone's yard, and she has 5 children, one's autistic. She couldn't do anything about it. She was, what was she gonna do? My husband and I went down on the Saturday, spent 4 hours putting chicken wire so our chickens couldn't get out of the yard anymore. And that's something that I brought to council many times when we have the residents that show up at council who are complaining about their neighbors. Did you knock on their door and ask them if there's something wrong with you? What's going on? Instead of coming to council and complaining about your neighbors, take it upon yourself to walk your happy little hiney on over to their house and see what you can do to help them. I don't understand it, and that's why our town is divided. Walk over and ask if you can help. I'll mow your lawn if you need it, just let me know. I'll send my husband down. I mean, those are the
Good one, Vicki.
I'm just saying.
I have nothing to say about that. I live next door to a neighbor who I have done all that stuff, they don't want help.
Well, then that's when the community step in.
Extreme situation.
Yeah, you've got an extreme situation,
And
right? I believe, I
that's, I
agree.
think, what we're referring to, is what steps can we take to
At
make sure
that point, I
that
think
that
the mayor
gets
has to
cleaned
follow
up.
through with the letters.
Because we've offered a dumpster, we've offered a lot of things.
If
And it
council
doesn't happen.
votes to have the letters sent out, who follows through with the letters? Wouldn't that be the mayor? Wouldn't the mayor need to
No, that's
follow
the
through?
council.
When they voted, they can't do anything with it.
They can't, council can't.
No, it's not like the council, when I was on the council,
I'll
the
say,
mayor did it.
when Chet was the mayor, he was the one who would follow up with everything.
Right.
The current mayor doesn't want to do anything, so that's why nothing can be followed up
Okay,
on that.
so we need to finish up with Lori's question, but she still has one more person.
First off, is would you know me?
I've known
So,
Carol,
yes,
we went to school.
you know, I have no problem talking to anybody. I don't have a problem sitting down with anybody, making sure that they understand that I truly am here for them. I can only speak for me, I can't speak for everybody else. I look at it as when you're on council, you have to hold yourself to a higher regard. You have to. You are visualized as a council member day and night. You work for the village, plain and simple. These people voted you in, they voted you in, or they elected you because they believe in what you brought to the table. So you need to continue with that. I can't speak on what's going on now because I'm not sitting on council. All I can speak is, yes, I think it's a great idea to have, a working day for council. To bring out anything where maybe this person and this person aren't seeing eye to eye on whatever it is, they can go about, why aren't we? Maybe you have this idea, I have this idea. We come together and make it to this idea. We need to get back to where the village members want to come, they want to talk to us. They don't wanna feel like they're just being fluffed I don't like being left off, I hate it. But in turn, I can only speak for me that if on council, first off, social media is killing us. It's killing us. It's killing us. This, right here, it is. It's a bad thing here. We need to maybe appoint one council member, whoever may want to do it. They're the only ones that will speak on something on any social media platform. And it will not be anything to degrade a village member, to call them out for anything.
Doesn't that take away their right? It's their right to, like, their First Amendment right to talk.
I'm not saying nobody can talk, I'm saying we need to.
No, they should be allowed to talk about anything they want, though. I don't think that's right to take away people's rights. That's
I'm not taking
insane.
away his right away, I'm saying, as a council, maybe nominate a council member to speak on anything that maybe has been brought up that council needs to address. As a council, not as an individual.
So what
You
you're
have
saying-
your own page, you do whatever you want on your page.
So what you're saying is like on the community, spokesman?
Yes.
Spokesman.
Yes,
Spokesperson.
So there's not so many different, so it's, everybody's getting different opinions. Maybe I say one thing to you, and then somebody else says it to somebody else, and it's different. We need to come back to, we got to come together. We have to, as a council, remember that this village is first, period. What they need comes before what we want, period. End of story. End of story. If the village does not like it this way, as a whole, then that's not the way it goes. Are we always gonna agree? No. Will we always vote the same way? Absolutely not. But we have to get back to what's important. As for cleaning up properties, yeah, the letters go out, we need to have set things of what's next. What's the next step? What's the next step? And we have to follow that step. We have to do it. Because I think, not all of them, but like you said, some cannot afford it. Some just can't, or they are not able to do it due to age or a disability. We need to pay attention, but in turn, we could have Amy send out, like in the summer for grass mowing, send out in the, bill, hey, if you need help mowing grass or doing this, contact this number. And then, group of people. I would volunteer myself, I can't speak for anybody else. So then they don't feel like they've been put on a stand. I'm calling this number, I need help. Okay, so-and-so's coming to your house to mow, cleanse them. But as for the ones that are doing it just deliberately, do not care, they've been given letters and letters and letters, we need to maybe have another step, a next step to it. As in, okay, we've sent these letters repeatedly, now we waste our money on certified letters, we need to do this step. Hopefully it never comes to that legal action. That's not what we want, but yes, you gotta pay attention to what's going on in your community, but I'm a big stickler on council works for this village. And the village members, what they need comes first.
Does anyone else have a question?
I just have a comment. Isn't there an ordinance already on yards that has to be mowed? And if they're not mowed, the village has the ability to mow it and then put their bill on their taxes?
Correct.
At least that's the way it always used to be.
I know
So
that,
I
I
don't
know
know if
that
that's
at one of the meetings, they talked about how you were trespassing. I know that was something brought up, that you couldn't go on in someone's yard and mow it because you're trespassing. Wasn't that brought up before? Okay, I think that was something that was brought up and
Well,
maybe.
the solicitor should be able to tell you that.
That was specifically a fence.
Okay, never mind.
But I would also say, Jim, that the village, generally when we tell people no, they know. There are incidences.
Yeah.
Carol's got a spot by her house that's a little bit harder to attack. Generally, it's only a problem if people have passed away or they've moved and they just don't know. The trash is probably would be more of an issue that they're speaking to that doesn't get resolved than the grass.
But there is stuff.
There's resolutions for trash, grass, noxious weeds, yes,
And then-
vehicles.
My other comment was, how many committees do you have? Do you ever meet? There should be, anytime you have a customer comes in and has a problem, the person that they talk to should take it to a committee, and that committee should work it out and then bring it back to the council. Not this, we don't have an answer for you, and just ignore it. There's too much of that. And the other thing I think is respect. I don't think people are respecting the council, I don't think the council's respecting the people. And you gotta have respect for each other. Simple as that.
Anyone else?
I have a question for you, Michelle. All nothing but that. So you're, running for council, you're also president of Lions Club. Is there a conflict?
I would abstain for anything that has anything to do with the Lions Club. I wouldn't vote or I'd abstain. So. There would be none.
The question and answers went way longer than I expected. So if you want to run wild from your seats, you can, and meet and greet with everyone else for the next 5 to 10 minutes. That's all I have, unless anyone else has.
Thank you for coming.